The Smile. A Smilin' Friends and Amazing World of Gumball crossover fanfiction read-in. Written and narrated by Precious Piece of Cheese. The link to the original fic will be in the description box. Gumball? Darwin nudged Gumball's shoulder with his fin for what felt like the 100th time that day. Gumball remained perfectly still in his bed, facing the wall, remaining silent. He was not sleeping. Please, Gumball, I want to play. It's Saturday and I have no one to play with. I don't want to waste a day off from school by doing nothing. Please get up, even for just a bit. We can do anything you want, I promise. Darwin gently removed the blankets off of Gumball, only for Gumball to retaliate instantly by dragging them back into place, not saying a word. Darwin sighed in defeat and turned away with his lip trembling. It felt like nothing he could do or say could get Gumball up. Every day for the past week felt like fighting the same battle with no progress. One day last week, Gumball decided not to get up from bed to go to school, and he remained that way ever since. He just wished Gumball would communicate with him instead of leaving him in the dark. Anais entered the room, sipping on a juice box. Hey, Darwin, have you seen Daisy? I thought I left her on the couch, but she's not there. Darwin glanced around the room and spotted Daisy on the floor next to the computer desk. He picked her up and silently handed her to Anais. What's up with you? You look like you're about to cry. Darwin sniffed. It's Gumball. Anais's face fell upon recognition. Oh, right. Any luck yet? No, nothing is working. He won't even talk to me. I don't know what to do. Did he get up today to eat like he's been doing? No. Mrs. Mom brought him his breakfast 'cause he didn't come down, but I don't think he ate it. Darwin pointed to the table next to the bed, where an untouched bowl of cereal laid. Anais's demeanor shifted immediately. Oh, no, he never refuses food like that. It must be getting bad. She walked over to the cereal to inspect it and found that it had gone mushy from sitting out since the morning. I just don't know what to do, Darwin cried. Anais reached over and poked Gumball in the back of the head through the blankets. Come on, Gumball. You're scaring us. Darwin came to her side and poked Gumball as well. Come on, buddy. Please talk to us. Darwin sniffed back a tear, and Anais placed a sympathetic hand on his head. I just want to play with my brother, Darwin mumbled sadly to himself. Gumball shifted subtly and moaned quietly, raising hope within his siblings. They held their breaths for several moments in anticipation for any crumbs of communication. Leave me alone, Gumball muttered hoarsely. Darwin gasped, and Anais knitted her eyebrows. Can you tell us what's wrong? Anais asked. Gumball grunted and flipped over underneath the blankets. Please? We just want to help you. You can't. What? You can't. Why? Nothing. Come on, Gumball, what do you mean? Nothing. Ugh! Anais stormed to the corner of the room, trying to keep it together. Darwin kneeled to what would have been eye level to Gumball. Gumball, please? I love you and want to help you. I feel like something is missing when you're not there being chaotic and snarky like you do. I don't want you to live in your bed forever. I miss you, bro. Please, do it for me. Darwin couldn't keep it anymore, for he bowed his head and cried loudly. Anais was secretly crying in the corner. Gumball sighed with a sigh, with a mixture of melancholy and annoyance. He popped one paw out from under the blankets and patted Darwin's head tenderly. Please, 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 Gumball! Darwin and Anais cried in unison. A silence hung heavy for only a moment. I'm sad, Gumball confessed. About what? Darwin asked cautiously. I don't know. Would playing a game or having a snack make you happy? It's not that kind of thing. It feels deep inside me. Nothing I can do can make me happy again. I tried. It won't leave me alone. Darwin and Anais exchanged horrified looks. I was worried that it would be like this, Anais admitted. What are we supposed to do? I'm not a professional, Darwin panicked. Then let's go to someone who is. Mr. Small? He's a guidance counselor. I highly doubt that he's actually licensed in anything useful. Then who else? Even Mrs. Mom and Mr. Dad can't get him up. Anais pondered for a moment. Let's do some research on this. Darwin and Anais went to the computer desk and shared a seat. Let me just ask the internet? Darwin typed in, "How to make my brother smile again," into the search bar. Anais side-eyed him and looked like she wanted to say something snarky, but decided against it. The action was too sincere to criticize. Okay, so what comes up with that? Darwin read the first result, which was a sponsored search result pinned to the top. Smile friends. Help in our community one smile at a time. Need a frown turned upside down? Call us now. What's that? Darwin squinted. Is it therapy or something? He clicked on the link to go to the Smile Friends website homepage. Anais leaned over Darwin's shoulder to read the screen. Making the world a better place since 1992. Thousands of smiles made. Call us now to book your smile appointment with our professional smilers. So, are they counselors? Darwin asked. Anais scrolled some more. It doesn't say what they're licensed in, like, are we talking psychologists, psychiatrics, social workers, or therapists? It says professional smilers. Well, that doesn't exactly indicate a doctorate in anything. Wait, look, there's reviews. It's rated 4.5 stars. That's good, right? I don't know if we should base this kind of thing off of random internet reviews. How else could we know if we don't listen to the people who have done it? Darwin clicked on the Reviews tab. Look, it says they're verified reviews from real clients. Anais scrolled through the top reviews. It seems like they deal with a lot of different kinds of problems, mostly personal and interpersonal. But it looks like they'll work with anyone dealing with anything. They'll even come to your house so we don't have to drag a gumball anywhere. Anais paused for a moment. Do you think this will work? It's worth a try, right? If it doesn't work, we'll try something else. All right, fine. Give me your phone. Darwin handed Anais his cell phone, and she dialed the number on the screen. She put it on speakerphone so Darwin could listen in. Gumball may have been listening to all of this going on, but if he was, he didn't express it. Thank you for calling the Smilin' Friends office. This is Mr. Boss speaking. How may we help you smile today? An elderly man's voice greeted them through the phone. Hello, this is Anais Watterson calling to make a smile appointment. Sure thing, Anais. Is the appointment for yourself or someone you know? It's for my brother, Gumball Watterson. How old is he? 12 years old. Will his parents or another legal guardian over the age of 18 be present for this appointment? Yes, our mom and dad, Nicole and Richard Watterson. Okie dokie, can you please explain Gumball's situation? I believe he's showing symptoms of depression. He hasn't left his bed in a week and has been skipping school. He rarely communicates with us and no one can help him get up. Today he told me that nothing I can do can make me happy again, and he didn't eat breakfast this morning. I'm worried that it will get worse if this continues on. They heard the typing of a keyboard on the other end of the phone. Okay, I see. So, this is a mental health related issue. Yes. Okay, if you haven't already, there's a client form on our website that you need to fill out before the beginning of your appointment. It's so we have more information about the client and to have you sign off on a few things. You can email it to our office through the link on our website. Okay, will do. What time and date would you like to have the appointment? Do you have anything for today or tomorrow? Mr. Boss paused, and they could hear a mouse clicking through the phone. I have an opening for 2 p.m. today. That'll be perfect. Great. Can you give me the address of where you'd like to meet our smilers? Anais told him their home address. Thank you, and an email and phone number where we can reach you for further information? Anais gave him Nicole's phone number and email. Perfect. If you need to cancel the appointment, call us back at least 1 hour before your scheduled time, no fee included. We will send you a confirmation email with payment options and more information about preparing for your appointment. Do you have any questions? Nope, we're good. Thank you for your help. No problem, Anais. Our smilers will see you soon. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Anais hung up the phone and breathed out a sigh of relief. Whew, that wasn't hard to do. How much time do we have before they come? Anais looked at the phone clock. 3 hours. Enough time to have lunch and tell Mom and Dad about it. Do you think we should have asked them before calling? Anais shrugged. If it's to help Gumball, I don't think they'd oppose it. Yeah, you're probably right. Anais walked over to Gumball and tapped him on the shoulder. Get ready, Gumball, 'cause we called some professionals over to help you smile again. What? Do I have to do it? He moaned. It's not optional. You need help. Gumball groaned softly and turned over. Darwin and I are going downstairs to eat lunch. You should come down. Gumball sighed. I'm not hungry. His stomach growled loudly in opposition, like it was a paid actor. You need to eat something. You're not going to feel better if you starve yourself. Gumball paused for a few moments. Can you bring something to me? I don't have the energy to get up. Yes, of course. Anais and Darwin exchanged smiles, thankful that Gumball was showing minor signs of improvement. Darwin patted Gumball tenderly on the top of his head before following Anais out of their bedroom. When they went downstairs, they found Richard on the couch sleeping while Nicole was cooking in the kitchen. "Hey kids, lunch is almost ready. How is Gumball doing?" "He didn't eat his cereal, but he did want us to bring his lunch upstairs." Nicole sighed. "Hmm, I guess that's better than him not eating at all. By the way, Anais, what is this email that I just got about something called Smilin' Friends? It has your name on it." Nicole walked over to them and showed them her phone. "Oh, yeah, I was going to talk to you about that. It's to help Gumball. We found the Smilin' Friends, which is a service to help people smile. Darwin and I were on the phone with them, and we booked an appointment for them to come to our house to talk to Gumball. They'll be over at 2 p.m. today. We won't bother you. We'll just be up in our room with Gumball the whole time." Nicole read the email closer. "Oh, okay. Where did you find them?" "The internet. They have good reviews, so it's worth a try, right?" Nicole smiled sadly. "Anything for Gumball. I'm just so worried about him. You two are such good siblings for taking action like that." She patted them both lovingly on the head. "Anyway, I'll go take a plate up to Gumball. Hopefully, he'll eat this." Nicole plated the kids' lunches, which were grilled cheese and bacon sandwiches with chips in a juice box. She made a bigger sandwich with chips and a soda for Richard. She set the table and brought Gumball's plate with her upstairs. Richard woke up from his nap and sniffed the air. "Ooh, I smell bacon!" He scurried to the table to eat with his kids, where Anais recapped the situation to him. "So, is Gumball going to be okay?" Richard asked timidly. "If this thing works out, then yeah," Anais answered. "I hope so." Nicole returned downstairs and joined her family at the table. "How was he?" Darwin asked. "Well, he sat up in bed and talked to me, so that's progress." Darwin gasped quietly in excitement. "Really? He wouldn't get out from under the covers when we were with him." "I mean, he didn't look like he was doing that well, but it's better than nothing." The table was quiet for a few moments, with heavy questions filling the space in between. Nobody knew why this was happening, why he felt this way, or who was responsible for this, if anyone was. Gumball was a resilient guy, surviving horror after horror while still retaining his spark. So, what could have struck him down so spectacularly? No matter the situation, even when it was life or death, he was able to bounce back. Was this the result of being worn down too long and too hard, or did something happen that was more devastating than anything that came before? They couldn't imagine what could have been the catalyst to this suppressive state, considering that he had literally saved the world and escaped death multiple times. "I think he'll be okay. Gumball always bounces back," Darwin said quietly. The rest of the family hummed in agreement, although with obvious hesitation. They spent the rest of the meal diverting the topic away from the present tension, with Nicole asking Anais about her upcoming science fair project. Once they were done eating, Nicole cleaned everything up while the kids went back upstairs. Richard resumed his position on the couch and went back to sleep. "Gumball?" Darwin asked quietly when he opened the bedroom door. Anais followed behind him, peeking over his shoulder. They found him still laying in bed, but he did have his head poking out. The table next to him held his half-eaten meal. "Gumball," Darwin repeated. He crept closer to his bedside, careful not to startle or upset him. "What?" Gumball groaned. Darwin instantly lit up. "Hey, buddy, how are you doing?" Gumball slowly turned his head to face Darwin, eyes half open. Meh. Darwin cautiously reached out a fin to pat Gumball on the head, and surprisingly, Gumball didn't resist the action. He simply laid there while looking up at Darwin with tired, crusty eyes. "Everything is gonna be okay. The guys we called will come to talk to you in a few hours. Are you ready for that?" Gumball shrugged and twitched his nose. "All they want to do is talk to you so they can understand and help you. We all love you. Don't forget that." Something behind Gumball's eyes shifted into tension and his lip tightened, but he didn't say anything. "Come on, Darwin, we need to fill out this form," Anais said. Darwin opened his mouth like he was going to protest, but he said nothing. He noticed something about Gumball change when he said that, and he couldn't place why. He wished he could poke him further to understand, but he knew better than that at this stage. He just hoped that the people they called would do that for him. He joined Anais at the computer to fill out the form. Once they emailed the completed form, Darwin and Anais went downstairs to watch TV with Richard while Nicole cleaned the house around them, choosing to give Gumball some space before they had to get all up in it. No one wanted to admit it to each other, but they were very anxious about how this could go. What if Gumball didn't even give them a chance and shut them out? What if this approach wasn't going to be effective? Was this all going to be a waste of time and money? What if he was too far gone? It was difficult not to think about that, considering everyone thought he was basically indestructible. The sound of their doorbell jolted everyone out of their quiet tension. "I'll get it!" Anais shouted. She jogged to the door to greet their expected visitors. Standing at their doorstep was a small, round, pink critter with large, uneven eyes, dressed in business casual attire. He was about as tall as she was. Next to him was a taller yellow critter with a long nose wearing a hoodie and sweatpants. "Hello, we are the Smilin' Friends. My name is Pim, and this is my partner, Charlie. We're here for a smile appointment with Gumball Watterson. Is Anais Watterson here?" The pink critter said with enthusiasm. His yellow partner stood next to him stiffly, with his hands in his pockets, staring past Anais. "That would be me. Please come in," Anais responded. She stepped aside and gestured to them to come inside. Upon registering the guests, Richard and Darwin stood up from the couch, and Nicole turned off the vacuum. "Pleasure to meet you, Miss Watterson." Pim vibrantly shook Anais's hand. "Hello, Watterson family." Pim waved to the others. Nicole was the first to approach them. "Hello, I'm Nicole, their mother. This is Richard, my husband, and Darwin, my son." Nicole bent down to shake Pim's hand. She couldn't contain a playful smirk from Pim's demeanor. He reminded her of Darwin. She reached out towards Charlie, who hesitated before performing the gesture, like he wasn't expecting it. Nicole chuckled to herself. It seemed like something Gumball would do. Darwin and Richard also came over to exchange formalities. Nice to meet you, everyone. Is Gumball around? He's upstairs in his room. He's been hiding in his bed, Nicole said. So it's no problem if we come up? No, go right ahead. Nicole turned to Anais. You and Darwin can go up with them to be of Gumball. I feel like he'd get overwhelmed if all of us were there. If you need anything, just let us know. We got this, Anais assured her. I'm sure you do. Nicole ruffled the fur on the top of her head. Okay, so he's this way, Anais announced to Pim and Charlie, motioned them to follow her upstairs. Pim and Charlie followed her lead with Darwin trailing behind them. Anais opened the bedroom door slightly and poked her head through. Gumball, we're here. She peered around the corner and saw Gumball's ears poking out from under the blankets. Are you awake? Gumball moaned. Can we come in, please? Whatever, he grunted. Anais turned to the group. He's in a sensitive state right now, so please don't do or say anything that will upset him. We can't have him shut down on us. She looked at Pim, almost desperately, while she spoke. Charlie's demeanor softened away his previous stiffness once he heard her speak. He glanced down at Darwin, who stood next to him, and observed his sad doe eyes, which made his heart ache a little. They were just a couple of kids who want to help their sibling. Gumball must have been very loved. The group walked quietly into the bedroom with Anais in the lead. She went up to Gumball's bedside to find that he was lying down while on his phone. Hello, Gumball. We are the Smilin' Friends. My name is Pim, and this is my partner, Charlie. We're here to chat with you today, if that's all right with you, Pim said cautiously. Gumball didn't look up from his phone. Okay, he said in a dull, sarcastic tone. Charlie observed his client silently. Gumball's eyes were red, his fur had some stray crumbs in it, and his body odor was noticeable from the distance he stood at. He himself had ended up in that same state many times in his life. He couldn't help but feel a pang of empathy for him. So, we've heard that you've been feeling down lately. Can you tell us more about that? Pim began. Gumball still didn't look up from his phone and shrugged. Anais and Darwin looked at each other with stressed expressions. Pim waited a few beats for Gumball to speak and threw a glance to Charlie when he didn't respond. Okay, so can you tell us when you start to feel this way? Pim continued. Gumball grunted while typing something on his phone. Charlie scoffed and swiftly plucked the phone out of his hands. Darwin and Anais gasped. Hey! Gumball barked. He reached for the phone, but Charlie put it on the computer desk. Come on, man. I don't have all day, Charlie grumbled. Charlie! Pim whispered harshly. Charlie turned to Pim and whispered, Sometimes you have to be blunt for them to understand, Pim. Charlie then kneeled down to Gumball's level. All you gotta do is talk to us, and then we'll leave you alone, okay? I know you don't want to do this, so let's get this over with. You want to be helped, right? Gumball looked taken aback and was about to say something sharp, but he held his tongue. Yeah? Why'd you say it like it's a question? Gumball paused and his eyes briefly met Darwin's, exchanging a universal sibling glance that read, "Dude, I need to get out of here." Darwin smiled subtly and turned his head a bit as if to say, "You'll be okay." "I don't know, man," Gumball sighed sadly. "Well, what do you know? Want to start there?" Gumball exhaled through his nose. "It just feels bad. Everything inside feels bad. I don't know how else to put it." Charlie's demeanor softened, and he sat on the floor next to his bed. "Got a better word for it? Bad is a large category of feelings." Gumball twitched his nose and looked off to the side. "It's like there's something heavy right here, and it hurts me like a physical pain." He placed his paw on his chest. The old rock in your gut? We've all been there, man. Has it been there for a while, or was it recent?" Gumball paused to think. "I don't know, maybe I felt like something's been there, but only recently has it been this heavy." Pym smiled at Charlie for using his perspective to help Gumball open up, and scooched in closer. "Do you know why it's been worse recently?" Gumball's expression slowly morphed from one of annoyance to one of fright. Behind his large eyes, it was evident that he was looking back upon something particularly distressing. He stayed staring at the wall silently for 20 seconds. "Gumball?" Darwin piped up meekly, barely audible to Gumball. Pym and Charlie threw concerned glances at each other. "It was last Monday," Gumball sniffed. Everyone in the room leaned in a little closer to listen. "When I got my report card in the mail and..." Gumball sniffed once again. "I got yelled at for not getting anything higher than a C. I was going to get it before they did and forge it, but I was too late." "Oh," Darwin cooed softly. He remembered, and now everything was clearer. Charlie exhaled softly and smiled. "Brother, I've been there so many times. Except you're doing better than I did. My uncle was so pissed that the highest grade I ever got was a D+. Gumball snickered. "Dude." "Yeah, I know. In the end, that type of shit doesn't really matter, 'cause there's so much more to life to live after school ends. Don't beat yourself up about grades, kid. It's okay." Gumball smiled slightly, only for it to fall again. "Yeah, but there's more to it than just that. I told you that I got yelled at." Pim's face fell a bit. He could definitely relate to that. "Was it your parents?" "Yeah." "Even Dad? I didn't think he would," Anais interjected. "Mostly Mom, but Dad pitched in too." "I remember," Darwin said quietly. He had to witness the whole altercation. "Okay, Darwin, so please tell me that wasn't justified," Gumball pleaded. "Mrs. Mom making you cry wasn't." "Wait, what?" Anais gasped. You weren't there for that? No, Mondays are when I do robotics club, so I wasn't home. Oh, right. Still, that's so messed up. Gumball squeezed his eyes shut to suppress his tears. You're so lucky you weren't there, Anais. Can you tell us more about what happened that day? Pim asked gently. Well, me and Darwin got off the bus, and Mom was waiting at the door, all angry and stuff, holding our report cards. Darwin didn't get yelled at 'cause his one low grade was a C+ in math. But I got all the heat 'cause my highest grade was a C in gym. I failed 3 subjects and got D's in everything else. I'm used to Mom scolding me over the stupid stuff I do, but this felt different. Did she say something specific that hit a nerve? Gumball's lip wobbled. She said that I was a failure that'll never amount to anything. Hasn't she said that before? Anais questioned. Gumball's face fell further. Yeah, but it doesn't make it hurt any less. It hurts every single time. He wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. What caused this situation to make you feel worse than any other time this was brought up? Pim asked. Gumball shrugged. It was because I was already having a bad day, knowing my grades were bad and everything. My teacher already yelled at me once that day over the same thing, and my girlfriend was out of school sick, and I didn't have enough money left in my account to buy lunch, and he sighed loudly. It was just the last thing that broke me, I guess. So I cried a lot. It was embarrassing, and Mom felt kind of bad, but it just came out. Darwin nodded along. He remembered that day well. He could feel Gumball be a ticking time bomb of repression, and it was only a matter of time before he exploded. He'd been stressed the whole week leading up to report card day, so he was already in rough shape. Darwin wondered if there was something more he could have done for him during this challenging time, but there was only so much influence he had on him. He remembered staying with him for an hour after the ordeal, silently rubbing his back while Gumball cried his eyes out. He was going to remember that for a while. Charlie closed his eyes and rubbed his temples. God damn it, brother, I feel you. Those days where nothing can go right and then, boom, something breaks you. It definitely feels harder when you're a kid and can't control much in your life. Yeah, it was just a lot that I couldn't deal with it anymore, so I just shut down, I guess. Is that why you stayed in bed all this time? You were under too much stress, so you emotionally shut down? Pim asked. I mean, probably. I feel like it's more than that, though. Is there something else contributing to the behavior? I guess it kind of confirmed something within me. That what everyone has been telling me this whole time is true. I am a failure. I'm not good enough, and no matter what I do, I'll still never be good enough. I really did try to get my grades up, but I just couldn't. I don't know why it's so hard for me, but it is. It's the only thing anyone wants to focus on, no matter if there's other good things I do. It seems like everyone just wants to point out my flaws and laugh at me for them. It's always, why couldn't you do better? And never, I'm proud of what you've done. I got one C this time, and last time I had none. Does that mean anything to anyone that I improved, or does it mean nothing until I'm the best? I'm always getting compared to Anais and Darwin, but why not compare myself to myself, since that's all that matters? Does anyone think that I'm good enough? Everyone in the room stared back at Gumball like he was a witness speaking out in court. Gumball immediately broke down sobbing and face planted into the sheets. Gumball! Darwin cried. He ran to his brother's side and hugged him. You've always been enough to me, buddy. I know, he whispered hoarsely. Pim put a tender hand on Charlie's leg and leaned into him, looking emotional. Charlie patted him on the back. Could you tell us more about why you shut down and the coping mechanisms you used? Pim continued. He felt so bad for Gumball, but was glad that he made these breakthroughs with them. He couldn't remember how many times his parents screamed at him over grades. Gumball breathed shakily and sat up in his bed, removing the blankets off his lap. Darwin gasped and gave him a full body hug. They sat next to each other on the bed, legs dangling off the side. I didn't want it to happen, but it thrusted itself onto me anyway. If I could never be anything but disappointed, then what was the point in doing anything? That's all I could think about, and my will just vanished. My brain and body shut down, and there was nothing that could pull me out of the dull, suffocating haze that consumed me. Everyone being worried and fretting over me couldn't do it for me either. If anything, it angered me. It shouldn't have gotten to the point where only at my lowest will people pay attention to my feelings. At no point during that whole week where I was losing my mind did anyone ask me if I was okay. My pain doesn't matter until it becomes unavoidable to everyone else. Can you care for me all of the time instead of only when you're forced to confront it? Is this what it takes for anyone to care? Gumball's face was flushed and he panted, feeling the repressed anger flare up again. He didn't mean to shout. I I didn't know you felt that way, Anais said softly. It's okay, sis. You wouldn't have known. I'm sorry. I pick on you sometimes about being stupid and stuff. I didn't know it affected you that much, she continued. Thanks. Gumball smiled faintly. Anais walked over and gave her brother a hug. So, tell me, Gumball, are you the most upset with your mom over this since she was the one that yelled? Charlie asked. Yeah, kinda. It's just that she's not great with that most of the time. Once, once, she put a chart on our fridge to have us all compete for who was the best. and she basically killed me to try to make me the best. She literally dropped me off in the desert and made me walk home. Him and Charlie visibly cringed. That's fucked up, dude, Charlie said. Thinking about it again, yeah, it kinda is. I know she loves me, but I never feel like I can be good enough for her. Darwin doesn't say those things to me, Anais isn't that serious about it, and Dad doesn't really care. It's Mom and my teachers that make me feel bad about it. She is so competitive in Type A, and she's trying to force it on me when I just don't operate that way, and she just gets mad at me for failing in a place that I don't thrive in. I don't want tough love. I just want to feel loved. Does she know how her words affect you? Pim asked. Well, it's kinda obvious that I don't like it. I literally cried in front of her when she was yelling at me. I admit that I even cried in front of my teachers before, but that hasn't stopped them from berating me. Damn, Charlie said. It's like I can't win. Everyone wants more from me than I can give. I'm trying. I really am. But if I'm destined to be a failure to everyone, then what's the point of anything? I feel like I have no choice but to give up. Listen, kid. I know I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I can tell you something I've learned for myself. That you're the only one that can determine your own worth. Growing up, a lot of people thought that I'd never amount to much because I struggled in school and had a type B personality. For most of my youth and into early adulthood, I sat with that same thought that I was destined to fail. It's hard when it feels like nobody understands life from your perspective and only ever sees the bad things within you. But trust me when I say that when you feel like you're enough, what anyone else has to think won't matter. Pim taught me this, but self-love really is an important skill to have. If you don't love and respect yourself, how can anything else matter to you? It took me a long time to understand that, so I hope you'll learn it much sooner than I did. I thought I'd never be successful, but I have this job that I don't hate, friends that I care about, and enough money to afford everything I need. So I don't think I've failed at life yet. You have your brother and sister on your side, so you are not alone. That is a hell of a lot more than I had growing up. I know shit gets hard and life beats your ass over and over again. But for every time you fall down, there will always be another chance to get back up again. You're young and have so much left to accomplish. So please, don't give up now. Gumball blinked at Charlie. Pim stared at Charlie in awe. That was beautiful, Charlie. Charlie cleared his throat. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Nah, you're probably right. I'm too sensitive to what other people say, Gumball said sadly. Don't beat yourself up about it, man. It happens to everyone. But how am I supposed to love myself when I feel so small. Pim chimed in. There's good in everyone, and you have to appreciate your own good. Be kind to yourself, allow yourself to make mistakes and learn from them, and practice gratitude with what you do have. It can be tempting to ruminate on your flaws and what you don't have, but don't allow that to distract you from what you have right now. You can also set your own goals for success. You said you got a C this time, so why not try for 2 Cs next time? Setting realistic goals for yourself is more motivating than living up to other people's expectations. Yeah, that's true. I'm grateful for you, Darwin. I never forgot that. Darwin squeaked in delight and hugged him. I'm grateful for you, Anais, for being my voice of reason. I need to learn to appreciate your input instead of always getting annoyed. Thanks, Gumball. We love you. The siblings encased Gumball in a group hug, and he genuinely smiled, for the first time in a while. Tears of happiness pricked at his eyes. Oh, yay! Successful mission! Pim cheered. I'm sorry for being a jerk earlier. It's hard to let people in, and I was scared. Nah, man, don't sweat it. We've had to deal with much worse. Trust me, Charlie reassured. As long as we helped you in the end, that's all that matters, Pim said. I'll be fine, I think, Gumball said. If you need us again, just give us a call. So, does that mean you'll go to school on Monday? Anais asked. Yeah, I think I have to. I have so much work to catch up on, though. I can help you. I've taken those classes before. I can help too, Darwin added. Thanks. That makes me feel a little better. But, first things first is that you need to take a shower. Anais plugged her nose. The three of them laughed playfully. Oh, I know. It doesn't feel good to neglect myself like that. Are we good to let you go? We just have to go downstairs to have your parents sign some paperwork, Pim said. Yeah, you're good. Thanks, guys. You really put it all into perspective for me. I guess I just need to hear it from someone else. No problem, man. Just keep on going and you'll get to where you need to be. Charlie patted Gumball on the shoulder. Thanks, man. You're pretty cool for an old guy. Gumball smirked mischievously. Old guy? I'm only 27. Yeah, exactly. Okay, you little shit. How old are you? I've been 12 for 15 years, Gumball said flatly. There's no fucking way. I'm not lying. Come on, Charlie. Let's go. Mr. Boss needs us back to the office with the paperwork by 5, Pim said gently. Whatever you say, bro. That makes you as old as me. So look who's the old man now. Charlie rolled his eyes and followed Pim out the door. The siblings were quiet for a few moments once Pim and Charlie left, allowing the storm to settle. That went better than I expected, Darwin began. That wasn't as bad as I thought, Gumball added. Do you really feel better now? Yeah, I do. Thanks, guys. I owe one to both of you. We're just looking out for you. We're just glad to have you back, Anais said. I don't know what would have happened if you didn't make that happen. I'd probably be in my bed for the rest of my life. It's okay to ask for help and allow yourself to be helped. I'm proud of you for opening up like that. I know it wasn't easy. Yeah, but they seemed cool even though it was still embarrassing to cry like that in front of strangers. Trust me, they've probably seen a lot. It just made me sad hearing all of the ways you thought about yourself. It made me wish that I did something more to help you. Darwin gave Gumball sad puppy eyes. Don't burden yourself, Darwin. You always do your best for me, and that's all I can ever ask for. What do you say about playing a video game later to see if I can still beat your butt? Darwin lit up immediately. That's all I wanted to do for days. Oh, so you're excited to lose to me. The two of them laughed warmly. Anyway, I'll get showered and dressed, and I will meet you all downstairs later. I also need to text Penny to tell her I'm okay, since I low-key ghosted her, and I feel bad. I miss her so much. We'll leave you alone for a bit. I know it's been a lot for you today. Anais, do you want to ride bikes outside? Sure. Darwin and Anais skipped out of the room, leaving Gumball alone for what felt like the first time in forever. Gumball flopped down on his bed and groaned, feeling the exhaustion hit him once again. It had been an overwhelming day, but he needed to carry on. He forced himself to stand up, gather a clean set of clothes, go to the bathroom, and run a shower. Every movement felt like a chore, but he had to do this for himself and his family. Gumball stood under the scalding hot water while staring blankly at the cracked tile backsplash for at least an hour, but he didn't keep track. He needed time to think, and it felt like the steam from the water was opening his neural pathways, pulling him out of his dissociation. The past week felt like it hadn't happened, feeling like he was watching another life from afar. His mind was so polluted with reoccurring nightmares and suffocating thoughts of alienation that his world distorted around him. He couldn't help but feel guilty for worrying them so much, specifically his siblings. Darwin was even there to comfort him during the worst of it, and Anais usually meant well. He felt shame for losing sight of what really mattered all along. Gumball stepped out of the shower to a fogged-up mirror, to which he wiped away a portion of to view his reflection for the first time in a week. He felt like a new man with washed fur, but his eyes still looked hurt and rimmed with red. He sighed, knowing that this hurt will not heal overnight, but he was assured that it wasn't forever. He considered asking Anais to tutor him to help improve his grades. That could be a good place to start. He just needed to believe that he could succeed. He stared through his own eyes in the reflection, feeling the cobwebs being dusted out of his brain. He just needed to believe in himself. Charlie did say that your opinion of yourself was the most important one. He admitted that he acted more confident than he felt to cover up his insecurities. But what if he could just be confident instead? He just had to work for it. Gumball leaned over the countertop and wrote, "I am enough," on the mirror by tracing his finger over the fog. He looked back upon himself and cracked a small smile. Maybe he could do this. He had no choice but to try. No one was going to save him but himself. If you had made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for listening to this story. So this is the first crossover fic of mine that I am narrating. Not the first one I've written. I have two other ones up on my AO3, which I don't think I'll ever do a narration on because I think too niche, or like the thing that like made me nervous to like narrate this fic specifically is that there's just like so many characters and I can't voice all of them accurately. So it's like each character is a slightly different tone of voice, but it's like I'm not a good impersonator. So hopefully that got the fucking point across because I'm just like I can't do impersonations. I just read my stories and I just try to vibe it out with the characters. So if Pim sounds like he's on helium, it's because I'm trying to make him sound different from everybody else. Sorry. But I feel like this fic was low-key like a long time coming because I had this like vague idea of like I want to do a crossover fic for these two shows because they are my two favorite shows, and I would do anything to have like any actual canon crossover material. Cause can we just fucking imagine like a Smile Friends and Gumball like episode special type of thing? Just think about it, guys. Just think about it. I also wanted to write a crossover fic with Smile and Friends because this is the third Smile and Friends crossover of this. I'm calling it a formula because this is like the third time I've written something like this, where it's like the Smile and Friends go into another universe from their own to help out somebody with their problems. Because for me to write a fic, that's like the way I want to approach it. But basically, what hung me up on like how should I write this is like what should the problem be? Somebody's gotta be depressed. Somebody's gotta be having a life crisis. But how can we make this feel more plausible within the canon? But then I got the idea because I will link in the cards the video I did on this, but one of my other Gumball one-shots called The Irreplaceable, which was like a Penny and Gumball one-shot that I did a little while ago, I kind of took inspiration from that because it's like a similar concept of Gumball struggling with his own self-worth. It's basically running off the concept of everyone thinks Gumball is a failure, and he kind of thinks that too, or like a loser. Like, this is a very canon theme that we see in both the old and the new series, where it's like everyone calls him a failure, and it's like, oh, he's a fuck up, he can't do anything right type of guy. So it's like, well, he does, like, in like a question that has been continuous for like months at this point, is like, how would that type of thing affect Gumball internally if we are being realistic about it? So while that previous story gets into that question, I feel like this is a different take on my question. Because before it's like him talking about it with Penny in a bit more of a different context. If you've read that story, you kind of know what I mean. I'm not gonna get too much into that. But the specific perspective I wanted for this story is how Nicole sees him. Specifically, it is mentioned that's like, oh yeah, his teachers make him feel bad about it too, but it was because he was yelled at by Nicole, and Nicole said these things to him that makes him be more affected by it. So in this sense, it is more of like a direct event caused him to think this way and causes him to spiral. While in the Irreplaceable, it's more of like a general ongoing feeling that has like accumulated over time until it gets to the breaking point. Like it's like we see how Gumball reaches his breaking points differently depending on the context. Because I feel like these two stories take place in different timelines. Because I feel like these two can't coexist together. I'm getting too into the meta of my own work, but you know. I want to get into some of like the parent-child tension on that front where it's like again, this is like a canon theme that's being constantly brought up. In fact, I did specifically reference the season 2 episode The Fridge when Nicole mentions to them about the chart that she kept on the fridge. Like I wanted to cite that instance as like I'm not pulling shit out of my ass. Like this is a thing that happens in the show and I want to like broaden that a bit. Because again, in that episode, it was even the same discussions about like Gumball doesn't think he can be good enough for Nicole. Like this is the same conversation. And she's like in the end, she's like, "Oh, you're not a disappointment to me." And like all that. So it's like I have to mention that episode specifically so we can make those parallels. So this is why I feel like this specific situation is plausible in the canon. Specifically, this what also kind of made me build the story up to where I ended it up in is kind of like an interesting thing that I didn't think about until I basically had to write Charlie giving Gumball advice. So the perspective that I kind of put it in is that they are a mirror to each other, where Charlie sees himself in Gumball as in Gumball reflects a younger version of Charlie. And kind of Charlie represents an older version of Gumball. Because the more I think about it, the more I think that those two characters share similarities in like that aspect. They're still very different, but if you kind of think about it, they have some similar themes going on here. And I feel like the conversation, at least between Gumball and Charlie, is like that Charlie has given Gumball the advice that he wished his younger self could have received, okay? So it's very much like the whole idea behind this section is that Charlie's talking to his younger self and giving him the advice that he never had, or the advice that he wished he learned at his age. You kind of see what I'm getting at. I feel like you can pick it up within the text alone, but I just wanted to mention it in my author's notes because I just think it's cool. So that's where this kind of spawned from, and also kind of like the grades issue, the grade anxiety, the report card shit. I wanted this specific source of conflict to come from a very childlike place. If you kind of catch my drift, because it's like a very common like childhood experience to have grade anxiety and like showing your parents your report card and them getting mad at you if it's not good enough. Like that's a very universal childhood experience for a lot of people, and I feel like Gumball has like in the canon has went through similar situations where like Nicole would get mad at him for not doing well in school, or it's like, oh, he never does well in school. It's like Gumball not doing well in school is a canon thing, so I just kind of want to expand upon it here. And I feel like the added context of like there was already stuff going on in his life, like the stress that kind of built up to him breaking in this moment, because him like the moment where he breaks is him crying in front of Nicole. And her whole, because the thing is, it is never said it like too explicitly what was said, but you can kind of put your own shoes into it. It's like it doesn't it's not so much about what she said, it's how Gumball reacts to it because it's like it's the last thing, as Charlie said, the last thing that breaks him to like spiral into a depressive state because I feel like getting into a depressive state like this, it is not usually just one thing. It's an accumulation of things, and it's the one thing that's the last straw. Yeah. So I also wanted to make that apparent, and how being in a depressive state kind of alters your rationale. Because as Gumball's like talking through his problems, he kind of like goes spiraling into like more depressive thoughts, where it's like nobody cares about me type of thing. Because like that happens. It's like we get so trapped in our minds when it just keeps getting worse and worse that it can make you think things that just aren't true. Because, like, as Darwin and Anna used to assure him, it's like, we do love you, we always loved you, we always think you are enough, type of thing. So I kind of want to get two sides of the coin, where it's like, everyone else in his family is so worried about him, and, like, they don't really know what's going on, but, like, then Gumball reveals that, like, what's been going on, because it's like, because Gumball's not usually like he's like as it's been said, he's been very resilient. You get through anything unscathed pretty much, but it's like this is the one thing that breaks him, and everyone's just shocked, like, oh my God, what the hell's wrong with him? Because it's so out of character for him to do this. Because part of me was wondering as I was writing this story, like, is this too out of character for anybody to do? But it's like, is it hard to believe that something like this would affect him like this? In kind of like a general sense. That was kind of the thought behind this. But some other like small details that I added into this, I think kind of like I just think they're neat. I just think it's neat. Is specifically when Nicole meets Pim and Charlie and she kind of like makes mental notes on how Pim is similar to Darwin and Charlie is similar to Gumball. That was very intentional because it's like I low-key think that. Like I already said that Charlie's similar to Gumball, but I feel like Pim is similar to Darwin. Like, think about it. But I just thought that was cool, and I wanted to include it. But specifically, what I thought was kind of fun was the whole last bit of conversation between Charlie and Gumball, where Gumball calls Charlie an old man, and then Charlie's like, "Well, I'm only 27." And then Gumball's like, "I've been 12 for 15 years." Specifically, "I've been 12 for 15 years." Kind of like hints at Gumball, like, being immortal or whatever fucking shit's going on with how he doesn't age in the canon. And then Charlie, like, doesn't believe him because he's like, dude, there's no way that's true. So Gumball kind of does a mind fuck on Charlie, but he just kind of, Charlie fully assumes that he's just pulling his leg, but even though Gumball knows that he's being truthful, I don't know. I just wanted to include that. Hopefully you enjoyed listening to this story, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.